Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking all about CSGO cases, so let's hop on into it. Now the history of CSGO cases very briefly, but basically CSGO cases used to be around 3 cents a piece, and obviously today prices have significantly changed. We went from a time of investing into secure cases that were only going to be going down in quantity to a time now where people are thinking about investing into active duty cases. If you don't know what that is, completely fine, we'll be explaining it in just a second, but basically CSGO cases and CSGO investing as a whole has gotten much more complicated, and if you're not evolving and adapting with the times, you're going to be missing out on a significant amount of profit. And speaking of such, if you're looking to pick up some cases, make sure to do it with today's sponsor of Skinport. Today's video is sponsored by Skinport. Now Skinport is a super quick and easy way to pick up some brand new skins. Now if you're looking to buy on the website, it's going to be completely free. There's no buyer's fee, and if you're looking to sell, it's only going to be 12%, which is a small price to pay for being 100% secure. Now the reason I go with Skinport is because they've got a 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot with 10,000 reviews, over 400,000 skins on the site, but the biggest thing is they're able to cash out to your local currency completely seamlessly. Combine that with the fact they've got skins so much cheaper than the Steam community market, and there's no reason not to. Make sure to check them out with the top link in the description or the pinned comment. Let's hop on into it. Now the first group of cases we're going to be talking about are the active duty cases. Now these are the cases that are currently dropping inside of CSGO, and therefore they are the most risky to invest in. Currently there's 5 cases out there, and majority of them you're not probably going to be too deep into, or at least the Dreams and Nightmares and Recoil case really have no investment purpose at this time, so you can exclude those even if you're looking to invest into these. Now personally, I don't like investing into active duty cases because it holds a high amount of risk. You might be a little confused by that statement considering the prices probably aren't going to get lower, but I want you to look at it with the situation of, out of these 3 potential cases, being the snakebite, the fracture, and the clutch, there's a maximum of 1 case that's going to be moved to the rare drop pool, and therefore if you want to play it smart and split up your money evenly, you're only going to have a third of your money into the specific case you're looking for. Therefore it's holding a little bit of risk because those other 2 are just going to, at bare minimum, stay even and potentially even lose you a couple cents depending on when the operation comes, but we'll just get to that in a quick second. Basically the thing I want to get at with the active duty cases is that in my opinion it's not worth the risk to invest into them unless you are very certain that something is going to happen with one of them specifically. I like investing into them afterwards, and honestly I think that's going to be a much better strategy for the majority of people, playing it a little bit safer but also a little bit smarter in my opinion. The bigger and more important reason of why I don't like investing into active duty cases though is, as we can see with Operation Riptide, active duty cases do go down in price during an operation, and you don't want to be the person that's still invested into them and lose 50% of your capital like we saw with the clutch case during Riptide. It's not something I think is going to necessarily repeat year over year, and it's going to repeat to that level, but I think there's a lot of truth behind that and something we're going to see again. Whether it's going to be that drastic, no one really knows. Now the other big group you might potentially be investing into is the rare cases. Now rare cases is going to make up the majority of cases in CSGO. In fact, it's going to make all of cases except the active duty and the couple discontinued cases we're going to talk about in just a moment. But the thing is, the rare cases is such a broad category. We've got cases like the Prisma 1, Prisma 2 Danger Zone that have recently gone into it, but we've also got cases that were literally the first case released in CSGO. It's such a wide variety, and honestly it's not something you can just group into one thing when deciding what you're going to invest into. Rare cases, there's much more preparation you need to go into than just saying I'm buying a rare case. For me personally, I like to check out unboxing numbers. You can see here these are the October unboxing numbers. It's very important to make sure you're buying into a case that has some demand, because some of them, as you can see here, like the Vanguard weapon case, even though supply is very low, it's also got one of the lowest unboxing demands out there, and therefore it's very important that you know that. Otherwise, if you're just picking off supply on the market, you're going to be in for a wild ride. Now honestly, there's such large variety of cases out there. Personally, I would suggest looking at the more cheaper ones. Usually you're going to be finding a much better ROI here because it's much easier for a case to double in price when it's 20 cents rather than a case to double in price when it's $60. It's just kind of the way things work on the Steam market because people prefer cheaper items for the most part. Now Now, there's a couple other things you should be looking at. Other than unboxing numbers, the second biggest one in my opinion is ROI. Now, this one's a little bit more controversial, a little bit, because some people aren't as big believers in ROI as I am. I personally look at ROI as significant amounts, but people have argued that if you're going to unbox a case and you have that gambling addiction, you don't really care what the ROI is. And I guess there's a little bit of truth there, but for me personally, I like to check it out ROI wise, see what my case that I'm potentially looking into is going to be at, because it's going to help you out significantly, and in my opinion, it's one of the factors I look into before investing into a case. The last big thing I would look into is what is the recent trend or price trend for that case in general. If we're looking at the wildfire case here, just for a quick example, we're not going to go too deep into it, but you can see that huge peak all the way on the left because there was a lot of hype and a lot of people interested in that case at that time. It was something that was very big news, but the fact is this case's prices has fallen down to what it was sitting at beforehand. It's something that not really is going to matter at this point, but if that case had just recently shot up in price, not only using common sense, but just in general, it's probably not going to be the best buying power or the best use of your money to buy it at that time. Something that you need to look out for is if a case is on a skyrocketing trajectory. Honestly, in my opinion, you should probably be avoiding that case, and especially if it's a rare case. Now, the last group of cases are the discontinued cases, and I'm going to be completely honest here when I say that I have a little bit of bias for discontinued cases. In all factors of the way the market works, these cases should succeed tremendously, and yet they really haven't as much as I would like them to. Broken Fang case and the Riptide case have both done extremely well. However, the Shattered Web case really hasn't done that well when you consider the fact that it's still down from the hype it had many years ago. Not something that really matters today, but something that's very important to point out. In my opinion, the Broken Fang case and the Riptide case are now sitting at a price point where it's hard for them to see a significant amount of profit. Now, that's all very dependent on the demand the case has and such, but in my opinion, the discontinued cases have gotten very complicated very quickly. Now, you might have noticed I haven't even talked about 50% or 3 of the discontinued cases, and there's a very good reason for that. The reason is they're just not good investments. If I have to give you any specific piece of advice, it's to not invest into those cases. I invested into the winter case for $1. It's now at around $5, but I would never even think about picking up some now. I just think that it's way overpriced because it's supporting a horrendous ROI, especially the red one, the original case. And the fact is there's just no demand for these cases. If you want to look at unboxing numbers, the demand is so low, and even though the supply is extremely low as well, I think we're in a position here where it's kind of a standoff to the point where no one really wants to open it, but at the same time it's holding such a high price point that people are not really going to budge. Situation I would avoid, and for you as an investor, I suggest the same. But as always, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.